Alright, one more for today. Chapter 25. Abe wasn't dead yet. He took another wife and pumped 6 sons out of her. Abe willed everything to Isaac, but did give out a few things to sons of concubines while he still lived. When he finally died, verse 9, his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpalah. End quote. Abe paid 400 pieces of silver for it back when Sarah died. We are reminded again that Ishmael had 12 sons and they were all chieftains. And now we leave him to get on with Isaac. Rebekah was finally old enough to have children and she had twins. Esau, a rather hairy, red-haired fellow, and Jacob, a real asshole. Esau was a hunter. Verse 27, a man out of the outdoors, but Jacob was a mild man who stayed in camp. Isaac loved Esau. Rebekah pampered Jacob. Verse 29, once when Jacob was cooking a stew, Esau came in from the open famished. He asked Jacob for some food, and his brother said, verse 31, first, sell me your birthright. Thus did Jacob rob his brother of his birthright. Now this is a bit of an interesting story. Let us see it as a picture so we understand the story of Joseph when we get to it. Instead of Esau, let us say hunters and gatherers. Instead of Jacob, let us say the owners, the worldwide shopping mall, the worldwide slavery of almost every human and all the rest of life for the luxury of the few, the owners. We call them kings and queens. Now we call them corporations, CEOs, and priests and lawyers. Or as Jim Morrison sang, tied her with fences and dragged her down. This is our several thousand-year-old story, and it is a story, and if the story is not rewritten and retold, the human race will be done. And since that would be a waste of 14 billion years of physical and biological evolution, we have no choice. Slavery and holy lies must come to an end. So, I don't want to have to justify myself. I know there's people that don't like me doing this, and some of them are my friends. Some of my friends understand that I got to do it, and still don't like it. But the thing is, we need to understand, because we like to think that it's possible for things not to change. We like things to be permanent. But there's no such thing as permanent. The universe is in motion. Everything is in motion. And things change all the time. And it's good that they change all the time. If they hadn't changed all the time, we would still be bacteria in the ocean. The fact that things change and that evolution has a chance in such an environment gives us our inherent right to be the gods. We're not perfect, and I don't think there's any need to ever want to be perfect. Like the philosopher says, it's the journey. It's not the destination that you want to get to. It's the road you want to take. You know, and if we're trying to be static with a set of laws made by Moses, then we're fooling ourselves, and so we got to get over it. And it might be hard. It is hard because you think, okay, God is going to kill us if we do what he doesn't. No, he's going to send us to hell forever and ever, although it's hardly ever mentioned in this book. I don't even know if it's mentioned in the New Testament very much. It's mostly a concept by priests in the last few hundred years that if you're a good boy or a good girl, you get to have candy canes at Christmas. No, you get to go to heaven when you're dead. Not when you're alive. You can't have any kind of heaven when you're alive. In fact, if you're at a university studying about Jesus and you go for a dance, they will kick you out of school because you are not supposed to have fun. Now, that's madness, of course. Not all religious people believe that, but a lot of people think that having fun is hedonistic. Well, it's just words. Having fun is having fun. And there's nothing wrong with being hedonistic. In fact, it's probably the best way to be. Heathens and hedonists and pagans, although paganism wisdoms, they have to be updated as well. I think they can be a little bit silly with their overdone rituals. I mean, we have to stop holding on tight. We have to let go. We have to be able. We have to. Yeah, that's cool. I've got a hand. I'm not stoned, by the way. Was that it? Ah, the birthright. We almost missed that one. Esau comes in hungry, and so the hunters and gatherers are hungry because everything's been robbed. I mean, right now the world is full of poor people who have problems finding food because everything has been locked up behind the fences, like our friend Jim said, and everything is owned. Oh, and there's a great quote from Learning the World by Ken MacLeod. And I won't quote it directly because I don't have it in my hand and I can't edit this. There's a couple of ways to control people. One is to put everything behind fences, and the other way is to give them debt. And with debt, they will do the work of slaves without having to have their wings cut or their feet put in chains. Anyway, we're getting too much philosophy in this, and nobody wants to think about that kind of stuff. Do they? I don't know.